Hi, David. Were you at all surprised with the fact that Golden State went small ball today? And secondly, Greg Popovich related or said that finals for him were torture. Can you relate to that?
You know, they had to make an adjustment, obviously, because the games, all three of them, were going our way. We had won 2 of them, and you know, they made a decision to go the way that they went. Obviously, in the first few minutes, we handled it. After that, less so. I don't think that was the main thing in the game, to be honest with you. You said that Coach Popovich said that the finals are torture.
He was asked if he enjoys the finals, and he said, no, it's torture. Can you relate to that?
Well, if you know Coach Popovich, he's got a great and clever sense of humor. So I'd have to ask him directly what he meant by that, because that could go any way. I'm not really sure. And I'll talk to him about it.
Kenny over here on the right.
David, Kenny wrote a WHBC radio. 2 things. The non-calls in the first quarter that you weren't getting.
I can't hear. Is the microphone not working? Because I can't hear you.
Check, check. There you go.
There you go. Thank you.
All right, Kenny wrote a WHBC. The calls you didn't get in the first quarter, it seemed to affect your players. They seem to be, you know, bickering a little bit at the officials. Can you talk a little bit about that? And
you know I can't.
Were you concerned that your players were affected by it in a negative way, and do you think it had an impact on the way they played in the first quarter?
You know, the game is such that the guys react to things. It's human nature, and I wouldn't point to that as any particular reason why we didn't play as well as we have.
Back center.
Coach Nick Camino from WTAM Radio here in Cleveland. Did you sense that your team was a little bit tired tonight?
Yes. Tonight was the 3rd game in 5 days, including the trip back from the West Coast. And it seemed to have an impact on us, yes.
Jeff over here on the right.
Coach, could you talk about what they did, what you saw that they might have done differently defending LeBron? Steve Kerr said he didn't think they really did much different, but it seemed like they kind of shaded a second guy over toward him more often, especially when he got into the lane.
A little bit more, yes, but not. They didn't play him significantly different. I think we were a little bit slower into our sets, and I think we didn't always get him the ball in great spots, and that made it a little bit more arduous for him to get into position to score the ball. I think also, you know, the fact that we didn't make shots tonight from outside, that really had an impact on his ability to find seams and to score the ball, because you know, there's a dynamic to that. You know, when you're constantly on the defensive end, you know, it's just like in football with possession time. You know, when your defense is on the field all the time, you know you're in trouble. And we couldn't get the ball down. We were 4 for 27 from 3 in a game where our big guys did score the ball. You know, you could say, well, you shot poorly because they really protected the 3-point line. And they kept you from scoring easy ones. Our big guys scored, I don't know what percentage, but probably 60–70% in the paint. We didn't make shots, and that put a little bit more pressure on him too, because you know, the ball, he was passing the ball, and the normal shots that we make in that situation, we didn't.
How's his head?
You know, I hope he's okay. I don't think he had any kind of. You know, he didn't have like a serious hit to the head. It was more of a cut, obviously. And I'm sure he's fine, knowing him.
Noah right here.
Noah Kozlov, Cinesport. Coach, did you get what you expected out of Dellavedova tonight?
played his heart out like he always does. And, you know, he'll tell you differently. I don't think he was 100%, but he gave us 100% of what he had. And, listen, it's not easy for anybody to be great every day. He wasn't the only one that wasn't great, including myself. But he wanted to play and he wanted to win. And, you know, some days just don't turn out the way you want them to.
Two final questions over there and over on this side. Second guy. Four on the left.
Okay. David, previous game.
Good day to you,
right
Anton.
Right.
Okay.
Previous game, LeBron went out in the start of the fourth quarter, and you lost the stretch. Tonight he went away in the start of the fourth quarter, and you lost the stretch. So obviously he has to sit sometimes. But how are you guys going to sort this thing out?
Well, that's a fact, and that's true what you said, Anton. And it's also a fact that he's a human being, and I got to give him a minute here or there. If I don't, you know, I'm really going to put him under more duress than he already is. You know, and when he is out, you know, everyone else got to step up and give a little bit more. We're thinner now than we were, but that's not an excuse. We haven't used it as an excuse yet, and we won't start now. We just all got to pick it up.
Last one in the front.
David Giltamari, Channel 10 Israel. If you can point out what went wrong tonight and what can be fixed for the next game, and if possible, what can you tell all the people that, again, woke up in the middle of the night in Israel?
That's a hell of a thing to have on your conscience all the time. I don't know how you people feel, but when I got 7 million people waking up and then feeling bad all day because we didn't win, you know, that's a heck of a thing to carry around every day.
Yes, and it's happening again.
And of course, Gil, he's going to be the first one to remind me of that, which is a very typical thing of the Israeli media, if you haven't noticed. Well, I said before, we didn't shoot the ball well. And obviously Golden State made some adjustments. They did a good job tonight. Got to give credit where credit is due. We're in a 3-game series for the NBA Finals. 6 months ago, I'd have bought that. We got to go back to the drawing board, go back to work, continue to believe in ourselves, play the best basketball we can, and try to win this thing.